Welcome back to Trading Hour. Well, market veteran Ramesh Damani says that the bull market that began in 2021 has resumed and PSE stocks will continue to lead it. He also tells Surabhi while he is optimistic about public digital infrastructure companies, he is wary of the consumer tech internet stocks.
Would they continue to lead? Yes, I think they'll continue to lead the bull market. There's been some evidence, again, the defense stocks, flashing up as we speak. So I see what has happened that perhaps we don't understand is I think this government understood correctly that there's no public favor in terms of disinvestment in India, privatization. I think successive governments have tried that and it has failed. So they've done the next best thing, which is improve the corporate governance of these companies. So you look at the earnings profile of how the earnings profile has changed of these companies. So that has really helped bring prosperity to the PSU index group. So having said that, yes, I think they will continue to lead the bull market. Where are we investing in the public sector space? You know, maybe in the construction companies, maybe in some of the other names that we're finding value out there. So that is one sector that we're looking at. I find suddenly and surprisingly for me, a lot of opportunity in the pharmaceutical sector.
Yeah.
Because what I'm finding is that a lot of Indian companies are not doing the CDMO work or, the basic generic drug, which is also fine. But they're also building intellectual property, okay, which I find astonishing that India has come that far that you're building actually patented medicines and so we're investing in some of those companies. And then the third one, which I'm very bullish on over the next 5-10 years, is this public digital infrastructure space. Because I think the one thing India is teaching the world is the India stack, the digital infrastructure, whether it's payments, whether it's transaction, commerce. I mean, anyone who's gone to the airport in recent times know how cool Digi Yatra is, the way you smooth through the airport. So India is way ahead of other countries, and that product will not only be more intensified in India, it will also be exported. So I think there'll be an opportunity in that sector too.
But are there enough opportunities? There are few companies, Protean obviously is one of them, but does the listed market offer enough opportunities to play digital infra?
There are plenty of opportunities. When Infosys went public, there were 1 or 2 opportunities, and more companies came. So there'll be more companies. There are enough right now. You just have to look. And I'm not recommending any particular stock, just to be clear. But I think there will be opportunities in the intellectual property companies in pharma, for example, may be challenged by Trump's order.
That's what I was
But I think they will overcome it. It's just the basis is so cheaper in India that you don't want to give medicines to America, which are already expensive, 3 times more expensive. It doesn't make any sense to me. So that's why they will have to change. The MAGA crowd will have to change ultimately out there. So I think there's enough pickings. The valuations are at your favor. It's almost like the wind is at your back. So if you are willing to invest over a long period of time, this is as good a time to get into it.
And PSUs, just to kind of press on that point a little bit, it's a very wide basket from defense to railways to, it could be financials, etc. Within that, what excites you the most?
Well, I think the problem that a lot of people who didn't like PSUs made was they bunched them all into one category, the PSU basket. And they were, like you said, assortment of companies. In the commodity businesses, they were in the construction business, they were in the defense, they were in the rail. And you can't do that. It's so silly. I mean, I always point that out. I said, and Surabhi, I just have to remind you, because there's been a lot of press, hatred against PSUs, as you must find when you are anchoring the show.
Yes.
But I go back to 1991 when Manmohan Singh first announced the PSU liberalization policy, and in the speech to Parliament, he said, I will be disinvesting some public sector stocks so that they'll be more efficient. In that basket of stocks, and I'm only talking historical stuff, I bought 3 stocks, among others, but 3 stocks that I bought. A company called CMC, which was in technology, a company called Bharat Electronics, which was in the defense space, and a company in Bharat Earth Movers, which was in the railways and a whole bunch of heavy moving equipment, whatever. If you go back and study the history of those 3 companies, I think today, Bharat Electronics may be 200 to 300 baggers, even today. And more importantly, what people don't understand, there is absolutely no dilution that is taking place in the equity. So the same level of capital, they've sustained the growth. Bharat Earth Movers, it's really hard to believe, was maybe a 50 crore market cap company. Today it's one of the giants in this field. CMC has been merged with one of India's leading companies, TCS. So I had this reference of making a lot of money in the public sector in 90. So when these got disinvested in 2020s, the railways and the defense PSU, we could see they were rich for the pickings. So I would say avoid the mistake of clubbing all of them together, because you get MTNL also along with some
with maybe
NASDAQ stocks in there.
BEL.
So, yeah, but if that's your job, I mean, that is your job as a stock picker. What are you doing? If you're lazy, not going to look at the stocks, then you're being lazy. You're not a good value investor. So that is my call. I'm saying that these individual stocks will do well. What excites me pretty, PSU has told you, some construction businesses excite me, some defense business still excite me.
Okay. Now, in digital infrastructure, it's interesting that you said public digital infrastructure, not overall, internet businesses or internet companies. There's been so much, happening with them. They go up and down, and the great debates rage in the market around a Swiggy and a Zomato, etc. Overall internet, not so much, more digital public infra. Why is that?
More that because that's where the great growth opportunity lies for India,
Okay.
in making life easier for the common citizen. In the internet businesses, I am all in favor of them, but I'm not finding great valuation comfort in. They are still at, they are at exorbitant valuations in my belief. So we bought some of them, but we haven't bought all of them.
What an interesting conversation with Market Veteran on individual sectors that he likes, how he's navigating the PSUs, pharma, and how India is becoming a role model for IP and the digital stack. We'll get into a break. We'll come back with more on the markets. This time, our conversation is with Mukul Kochar. Stay tuned.